the colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the skies, also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do?
Welcome once again to the Instructor's Compass. This is your online instructor, Sir Noy Gonzaga Jr., a licensed professional teacher and a registered nurse holding 2 decades of experience in teaching several areas in education, including communication, philosophy, history, general sciences, social sciences, languages, literature, and nursing professional courses. This moment, we will be dealing with the topic ethical dilemmas. Ethical dilemma is simply defined as a decision or choice in the fulfillment of ethics that has something to do with multiple variants of decisions and choices, and those that are actually on the opposite ends most of the time. Of course, the dilemma is lessened when the choice is a clear division of one right and one wrong, because it is a no-brainer to choose what is right, for choosing the wrong in this situation is not only ethically questionable, but also it appeals to mental incapability. The dilemma is slowly pacing upward when there are already choices that waves on the similar direction. In this situation, when the choices are all right, it does not make it easier to choose, as choosing does not make one person get both choices, as choosing is an action that should end up with basically one choice at hand only. Selecting both actually never complied with the action that needs to be done, which is to make a choice. Thus, disowning one right for another right or for the better right, and deciding which is the better right develops the dilemma of choice that will be presented by the ethics in this situation. However, it will be a healthy problem as you are choosing between 2 options that can end up right anyway. So, this is also called as the mid-range dilemma. The third avenue of dilemma is when the choices are all wrong, but you still need to make a choice, as it can define the next possible direction or route that you will need to take. This follows the same logic earlier, that you cannot choose 2 things that are right to coexist as choices, for the mere reason that ethically you need to make a choice, and that can only mean one possible choice. Now in this third situation, the dilemma is worsened as both choices now are wrong, but one of the choices may find some percentages of reasonability that can create a little positivity in a negative situation. We call this kind of choice illumination as the decision of the lesser evil. Thus, if we will summarize the 3 dilemmas, it can be like this. Number 1, the first dilemma is just the identity of the right choice, because you are choosing only the identity of the choice that has something to do with what is right, and the other is wrong. A good example of this is choosing between fresh food and rotten food to eat. Well, it is a no-brainer that you will choose the fresh food, for rotten food will make you sick. That is why the degree of choice in terms of its ethical consideration is very negligible in this state of dilemma. Thus, we call it sometimes as a no-brainer. The second dilemma is called as the greater good, as both choices are good, but an ethical qualification of a much greater advantage of privilege that can be seen in one of the goods that are identified is what is making it a greater good. Identification results then to the good that is greater. A good example of this is when choosing a course in college. If you will take up the course that you want, which is nursing, you can freely take it, but you will be supported only 50% by your sponsor. But if you will take a course you also like, but not much, which is to be a teacher, you will be supported 100%. In these choices, you can see that all are pointing to the higher positivity, but it has its own limitations. Now, the choice to make will also give you the responsibility to acquire the opposites, or the result of not choosing it. That makes this choice now a little bit complicated, but still on a better note, because you are now choosing the greater good. The third dilemma now is called as the lesser evil, as both of the choices are actually evil, or they do not resemble good. But if you will do ethical analysis on both, there is still a possibility that one of the two choices will have lesser evil effect or lesser bad connotation, which can also lower the negative effect of the one making the decision, thus making it the choice that will create less downfall to the person choosing. A good example of this is when complications happen in childbirth, that the doctor will reach a point of letting the father or the family members choose who to rescue and leave if there is only one that can live, the mother or the baby. Choosing one will surely result to the end of life for the other. This is now when you really have to take ethical responsibility of the effect, which will logically end up the lesser catastrophic. Thus, we have now the more complicated dilemma, which is called as the lesser evil. Well, dear learners, life is really a battle of choices. We cannot have any options for that. Because the only state when we stop choosing is when we are already breathless, and that means we are also lifeless. However, choice is only made very important and very life-affecting when it will be lubricated with the ethical side of it. Choices made ethically are choices that can make our life change for the better or for the worst. Often, this is the hardest because God can only guide us and give us reminders, but at the end, whether right or wrong, whether good or bad, you still have to make your own choices and solve your own dilemmas, because God will never control human free will, and that means He will not meddle with our freedom of choice. I hope you have learned from our simple presentation of ethical dilemmas, and I hope I have opened your eyes to the great complications of ethics in this area of learning, which we call dilemmas. Thank you very much for tuning in to this vlog community. If you think you are learning from this or you are learning from us, it is the greatest request of this vlogging online instructor that you subscribe to the Jervin Eagle Viewpoints channel on YouTube, so that you will be informed if there will be new videos that will also be a course of learning for you. And if possible, hit that word subscribe under the video you are watching. And also please like or share, and share if you want others to hear and see what you have just seen or what you have just learned. It's another wonderful day of learning, everyone. Once again, this is your online instructor, and this is the Instructor's Compass under the Jervin Eagle Viewpoints community, which is also bringing to you Academia Gonzaga. Once again, this is your online host, online instructor, Sir Noy Gonzaga Jr. God bless.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, What a wonderful